I'd like to thank the Broncos organization for being such a white-hot tire fire that they have given us a Google of Maller monologues. And so it's time for our obligatory Maller monologue on Russell Wilson and some of his latest shenanigans. And while we were away from our guard shack as the night watchman in sports, a few days at the end of last week, there was a passionate public decree, a display of gratitude, PDA, if you will. They were making out there, all of it directed at the Broncos quarterback. Now, just to get you caught up to speed, if you missed it because you were doing stuff over the holidays there, one of the offensive linemen, Garrett Bowles, tackle, Jerry Jeudy, a wide receiver, another wide receiver, KJ Hamler, among the players that stood up to defend Russell Wilson over social media. Now, they were responding to some criticism that came from Shannon Sharpe, a former Bronco player who claimed that Russell Wilson has his own office and a private parking spot at the Bronco facility. And that led to the public spooning of Russell Wilson. And then Russ started getting all emotional. He became verklempt. This was back on the weekend following Denver's game, another loss against Kansas City. And as Warner Wolf used to say, let's go to the audio tape. Listen to Russ here. This is his reaction. He was asked about his teammates having his back.
It meant the world to me because I give my all every day. I don't know anything less. And so I'm grateful for these guys because, they've worked their butts off. And for them to have my back, Jerry, he means the world to me, how much he's worked at his craft every day. Kendall, KJ, Tim Patrick, Cortland, other guys, all I want to do is help this team win and us find a way to do it. And I know we're going to overcome all those obstacles. And I'm not going to blink because I know who I am. I know the dedication I have to this game and how much it means to me.
Man, he was laying it on thick there. So that was the rant by Russell Wilson. If you think this is just a feel-good story, I don't believe you know how talk radio works. Bad job by you. You're wrong. Now for the rest of the story. Is it true that this entire episode was staged? Yeah, we're hearing rumblings that the Russell Wilson the Stand By Russ tour that took place on social media and then Russ's comments were all arranged for public consumption. Peter King, among others, NFL guru, he and others are saying that the Bronco players who chose to speak out on social media, it all happened around the same time, and they all had pretty much the same message, and it made you wonder. All right, so let us discuss. Was this Russell Wilson public defense strategy staged or organic? So I don't know if you can see this because we're on radio, but there's a red light flashing. Just like that. And that means, you know what that means. I've got Paula Abdul, Home Depot, and Tariff. And we will lock all of these things together, and we will fence off the competition. So number one. All right, so this is not even up for debate. And I've examined this, a minutes-long Maller investigation, open and shut case. The arrow points right at the center of the stage. Right there at the center of the stage, okay? And from where I'm sitting here, Russell Wilson, here's how this went down. He was so annoyed that his name, his brand was being sullied online and on television that, wait a minute, this is Bronco on Bronco crime. Shannon Sharpe, how dare you? So Mr. Unlimited, or the people in the inner circle around Mr. Unlimited, sent off some text messages. Got to protect the image. Name, image, likeness. And they organized a counter-defense strategy. It's clear and obvious here. It doesn't talk, it screams. Manufactured. And we wonder how far down the rabbit hole Russell Wilson went. Did he reach out to Paula Abdul for guidance here, the original American Idol judge? I think she's in her 60s now, and she's known for her choreography. You wonder. It's very odd that after months and months of radio silence, zero defense for Russell Wilson, all of a sudden, on one random day over the holidays, there is a tidal wave, right? A tidal wave that comes crashing down. And you're like, well, wait a minute. What's going on here? It's like a bomb cyclone or something. It's insane. And so methinks Russell Wilson's support has been dramatized for maximizing of the value of said support. Couple of scripted lines, and we're off to the races. Here we go. Now, why would you do that? All right, so I have an opinion on that. The reason you do that is because Joe Public is gullible. And based on Russell Wilson's own track record, there has been nothing authentic about Russell Wilson in the public forum over the course of his career, going back to his days in Seattle. Wilson has been called the fakest person in the NFL, someone who tries too hard. They've called him Poindexter. And spoiler alert, guess what? It works. The casuals who watch sports, and most people don't pay that close attention to this stuff because you got a job, you got family, you got to live your life. It's entertainment. You watch it maybe once a week. You watch some sports maybe a couple times a week, but you're not paying attention closely. And you see something like this, and you want to believe it's true. You want to believe it's not a facade from Russell Wilson. All right? So you do it if you're Russ because the low-information fan, the dum-dum, eats this stuff up. The cornier, the better. Can't get enough of it. Give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more, give me more. That's what they say. All right, now page 2. What's really going on? What's really going on if you could be a fly on the wall inside the Bronco facility as the season winds down? So I'm looking around here as an outsider, a neutral party. I got no skin in the game. But on the surface, you have Jerry Jeudy and others defending Russell Wilson, going down to Home Depot. I recommend this, by the way, if you believe that all happened and was not staged, it was organic. I recommend going down to Home Depot, getting a nice shovel, and digging a little deeper because you got to get past the horse crap, right? What is more meaningful, a tweet of support or tangible actions? Now, the way I was raised, and you can blame my parents for this, but I believe, and I wish the words were more powerful, but actions are more important, right? If I tell you something, but if I show you, it's more important. Like if I tell you I love you, that's fine. But if I show you I love you, that's different. Or vice versa. If you don't tell me you love me, show me you love me. All right, so let's take you back in the hot tub time machine. I want to go all the way back. This is going way back. You probably weren't even alive when this happened. Christmas of 2022. Last year, Christmas Day 2022. Denver's playing in La La Land, in the hood in Inglewood. And what did your lying eyeballs tell you? They told you that Russell Wilson's offensive line revolted. They were so disgusted. How disgusted were they with this guy? They would not help him up. It was a sackapalooza against the Rams when the Broncos decided not to show up, get their coach fired. And Russ kept getting sacked. And the offensive linemen were like, screw you, we're not picking you up. And that led to a heated confrontation because of the offensive line not being good teammates and good sports and picking Russ up. And my theory on that was he was holding the ball for too long, and the offensive line's getting blamed for the sacks, and they look like the Grinch. And really it's because of football incompetence by Russell Wilson. He's got no internal clock, and he holds the ball for too long, and the offensive line gets blamed for everything. Blame the fat guys on the offensive line. But a lot of the time, the sacks are not because of the offensive line. They're because of incompetence by the quarterback. And so the offensive line is like, well, we got screwed over here. This is on national TV. It's Christmas Day. It's a standalone game. What are you doing? And so his teammates on the offensive line, they wanted to toss Wilson into a garbage disposal. Then you had Shannon Sharp with the dog pile. And so Team Russ, they go on the offensive. But you had the backup quarterback, Brett Rippon, who had to go over and scold the offensive line. It got caught on television there for not helping to pick up Wilson after he got sacked. It was a wild scene. And so you get this staged event, this ray of sunshine for Russell Wilson. All right, final point. So how much of a net negative is Russell Wilson going forward here to the Broncos when they're looking for a new head coach? So you cannot understate how big of an albatross this is for Denver. All right, the Broncos, they want to get a big, sexy coach after flopping with no-name Nathaniel Hackett. And the biggest name on the market right now is Jim Harbaugh. And we mentioned he's already had flyers from people who are interested in hiring him with the Carolina Panthers, but there'll be other teams that are interested in as well. The Michigan man, who can have just about any NFL coaching gig he wants in the merry-go-round. Round and round and round and round goes the coaching merry-go-round. So he's sitting on an oil jackpot. Nice. Maybe get a raise out of Michigan, but it seems like he wants to go back to the NFL. So why would a guy like that sign up for the Broncos? Well, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Now, it's a good football town, Denver. They love the Broncos in Denver, but Russell Wilson is past his use-by date. He's going to be 35 by the end of next season. In the youthful world of the NFL, considering his level of production, he's geriatric. You've got $242 million in the extension. Now, I'm a salary cap truther, and I believe where there's a will, there's a way. You can wiggle out of anything. But this is the mother of all contracts. They'd have to find another sucker to take the contract. There's no potential out until 2026, but Wilson can't play right now. And he's also been empowered. He's a diva. And he's got the full run of the franchise. So what does that mean in layman's terms? I'll tell you. On this side of the microphone, it means the Denver Broncos job has a tariff attached to it, outside of hiring some no-name again who's just excited to have a job. But if you want somebody who's got a name and somebody who's a successful coach to come to the Broncos, Rob Walton and his kid, the Walmart family that owns the Broncos now, they got to go into their 401k. They're worth an estimated, the owner, Rob Walton's worth $60-something million. So if you want to eat prime rib as a coach, you're going to have to pay extra if you're the Broncos to pay that coach to eat the prime rib, and more than the market rate. You're going to have to put a tariff on that job. If you're the Broncos, you got to pay a little more because of the dead weight quarterback. It's the cost of doing business. And that's just the way it is.